Well, this morning I didn't put my cap on. I'm not gonna try to make myself out something I'm not. And I guess you'd say that's handsome or pretty. Pretty ugly, maybe. But good morning. Hope you had a good night. I was gonna go live and I was gonna actually do something on the TV here and realize that you hear me talk about technical difficulties. Well, technical difficulties. Yep. Little box here, you put it in here. iPad or phone, and put it up on your screen and put it in there. We're talking about bills this morning. And I said, bills, bills, bills. They don't stop. They're not going to stop. They're not going to drop. And it's sad. First, I'm going to say a prayer. I'm going to just bow my head for a moment and say a prayer. And then I'm going to jump into this. And I'm not going to take up all your day. I got a big day ahead of me, a lot of work. But let's bow our heads and pray. Dear Lord, thank you for giving me another wonderful day. Only you, Lord, can give me this day. And I want to take this day, make it productive. Ask that you lay your healing hand on those who are sick, those who are lost, those who are in need. And Lord, it's not for us to judge others as to what they need or what they've done. It's for us to put it in your hands and pray for them. Lord, be with all those that's traveling this morning to work, just on vacation. Be with them all, Lord. Bring them home safely. In God's name I pray. Amen. This morning I'm going to talk about bills. I did one on power company here a while back. Due to illness and some things, I don't mention names. Number 2 pencil. I didn't want to go digging for a pen. Most of the time I got one sitting here and probably got one in my pocket. I know my wife's going to shoot me over her pen. Got me a cup of coffee. Done went down and started her some. Didn't realize it was sick. But I did this video a while back on bills and the power company and the rip-offs and the scams. But due to sickness and we had to shut our shop down. And when I say shut it down, I mean shut it down. Everybody like to see me sell that place out. That's no lie. What's sad is a lot of times, no matter how hard you try, sometimes you're faced with decisions you don't like. What is my 2 main bills there? The overhead. Let's talk about the overhead at that shop. Electricity, phone, and labor. Okay. I'd say between what I've just spoken here, and I'm sure there's going to be somebody sitting there that sees this going to say, you got to be joking. It's not a joke. And as I do this, I want you to think about your own situation. this is simple. But where the power company comes in, it's sad. You people are getting ripped off. And you know what's bad is, now I'm going to say this, and I've probably said it before. The white American race does not stick together. I'm going to say it again. The white American race does not stick together. Now, why would you say that, country? Why would you make a statement that's like racist? It's true. It's true. If you remember when they wanted to, and I want to say it was Obama or maybe the beginning of Biden down there in Los Angeles, something was going on with the Latinos, and they marched, planning on marching again, but it was those that showed up. It was crazy. They couldn't control it. And an all-out war could have happened, I can tell you that, because there were so many of them. And today, if they pull together, ain't no telling what they truly population be in the United States. Black people. They stick together. I don't care if they've sat back and watched somebody, police officer or somebody get murdered or shot in the street trying to do their job, or whether it's a football game and somebody's had a disagreement or whatever it is, they stick together. They fight for each other. They believe in each other. And I'm going to tell you a story because, and this goes kind of away, but when I come back to my bills, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you a little quick story. I asked a black lady one time, why does black men go after white women? Oh, Lord, Mike, you shouldn't have done that. But I asked the lady, and this was her opinion. I think it's true. Why does black men go after white women? And this was her answers. They trophies. They're going to parade them around. They're going to use them. And when it's over, they're going to drop them like a rock. I said, well, I don't see that much with black women and white men, or white men with black women. And this is what she told me. We proud. We proud of our race. White people are proud of their race, but they're not willing to stand up for it. And that's why we're slowly falling them way behind, I can tell you that. And not just society and education and all. Now, I'm going to piss some of you off. I'm just telling you what the woman told me. But she said we proud of our race. And them numbskull husbands or black men, they just sit. They're going to go out there and they're going to enjoy themselves. Not all of you, because I know some good people. But anyway, just like these bills, we have not pulled together. We have not put our foot down and say, Trump, what is the problem? Why can't you do something? Nothing's went down. Electricity ain't went down. I just got my bill. And if you looked at the first video I done about this, I just got my bill at my shop. Ooh, there went the pencil. And I'm just going to write this down. Before I even get started, my electricity bill is right at $700. $700. Doors been shut. If they was open, there is 6 lights in that shop. We use about 4 of them. They're 110 because I wired them and I know what they are. There is no air conditioning. You can ask those who work for me. Why? My front building, I got 2 buildings sitting there right at, I think, yeah, right at $300. And then the back building, the shop, is $400. Well, the front building, I can tell you what's on. 2 lights, lights, 2. A refrigerator and a freezer, and no AC. We don't run AC hardly ever in there. And there's 1 AC. There's 2 in there. One's never worked. I'm not going to pay for something don't need. But I need my electricity. But $700 and the place has been shut down. What do you do? Well, I think I'm going to take a drive up there today and make a fool of myself because I'm angry. You wonder why people are walking up and down the street doing the stuff they're doing? Because they're angry. They're angry about something. You know, I haven't said much about that Charlie Kirk deal because that's just sad. I mean, I'm not going to get on here and try to build something I don't know nothing about. Let's get back to these bills. I'm good about going off the subject. A $700 electricity bill. Why? Why is it so high, knowing everything's basically been shut down? Well, it's because they get away with it. Plain and simple. State of Mississippi, our elected officials, right now they are cracking down on crime. They're going out of their way to crack down on crime. But as far as a power company, they ain't going to crack down on that because unless there is something I don't know about, every county most of where you live, I don't know of in Mississippi, has more than one power company. So they can charge you what you want. You're either going to pay it or they're going to click them lights off and country won't be sitting here doing his lives. Same thing with a phone company. So 700, say, no, I'm just being honest. This month, I'm probably going to spend right at $1,000 in electrical bills. Phones, over 500. That's right. Labor and wages, over shut down. You're hardly any. But on a good month, I probably put out good $3,000. So now, I probably said, no, I ain't putting out that kind of money. I'm putting out that kind of money for you. So for that business, that's $4,500. So we add that up, you didn't make no money. You're looking at, now let's see how close I am. I know it's over about 50, I'm going to say $5,400. And that's just me figuring in my head. We get over here to the electronics, they use electricity, and we try to put this in here. That's $54,000 a year. You know something? You probably call me a liar. I pay that much in taxes a year. So if you add that up, dang, Mike, you pay $108,000. You ought to be rich. Well, I probably would be if they give me my tax money. Where you at, Elon? I've been talking. Where you at, Elon? Where you at, Trump? All that money y'all found. The show went quiet real quick. Ain't nothing being said about those. You had to get rid of Elon because he was probably telling the truth. And if you watch Schumer and Schiff and all them barking like dogs now at Republicans because they're trying to expose them. But you know, you may not believe it, but honestly, maybe not that bad, but I'd say in the, the $700 electricity bill and the place been shut down. And I'm going to go over there. I'm probably going to make a fool of myself. And I want them to explain to me why. And I will tell you this, and then I'm going to tell you a story. And you think I'm going to be lying. But let me tell you, when you call me a liar, and in this story, I had a witness, and she's the one that reminded me, and don't be calling my wife a liar, boy, she'll, Lord have mercy, y'all give me, ooh. Don't do it. Just don't do it. But that's electricity bill. I don't do gas over there. My internet's through AT&T, and it's one of the sorriest internets you probably can have. And I cover my shop, and I can carry it around with me. It's on my phones. And I can tell you, I shouldn't probably use this term, but I'm going to. I could probably be a crackhead on the street doing deals and laying around with a little old cheap phone and have better service than I get through AT&T, and they have AT&T also. And they're only paying $50 a month, and I'm paying all this money, but that's bills. When I told you this little story, and I said, don't do it. Don't call that woman no liar. Might come out with no teethies. We was in El Toro's, Amory, Mississippi. Monroe County Power Company. And I was standing there talking to one of the managers. He's not there anymore. And I just got my power bill. And I wasn't happy. I don't have to lie to you. I'm telling him how much my power bill was. And I said, well, what's your power bill here, Ron? Now, when I tell you this, you're probably going to call me a liar. And my wife had to remind me about this. And it's God is my witness. And the man seeing me complain, and he was Latino, I'm sure he's probably legal. $64 is what he said it cost him that month. $64. El Toro's restaurant. Now you remember me going down the road 371. I had that venue I was opening and hadn't even turned the air conditioner on, but maybe just check, see if it came on, and then turned it back off. Sitting there, and I had maybe 5 lights running. And I think in that electricity bill, it was around $400 that month, 300. Really only been there about 5 days that month. I've been offshore. Again, ripped off. They've seen, oh wow, this restaurant building's opened back up. Bam, pop them. They got a late bill, or this is what we can charge them. There ain't no doubt in my mind. And you sitting at home, I'm fixing to go over some figures here with you because it's sad. And ain't nobody doing nothing about it. Nobody's sticking together. We just all sitting right here, just like I'm sitting in front of this camera. We all sit behind that door crying. And I know you're crying. Don't tell me you're not. And this is why I do this. This is why I wrote this book right here. The book you don't want to read. You know, I talk about it all through the books. Lifestyles, divorce, religion, the great USA and freedom, war and politics, government, tax breaks, bankruptcy, the new beginning, healthcare, racist, drugs in America, drinking and alcohol, TV and entertainment, music, computers, and telephones, cell phones and the ripoff, safety in the workplace, back to the workplace, safety at home, gun control and safety, a lesson learned quick. And look, it goes on and on. There's 2 books here. And basically I was doing the same thing back in 2007, and I'm still doing it. 2025. Ain't nothing really happened. But today, it's sad. Let's just do some quick figures. If you work a regular hour job today, if you're making $10 an hour, that's $400 a week. You going nowhere. If you're working at $20 an hour a week, that's $800. You're still going nowhere. Well, Mike, that's $3,200 a month. You ought to be able to do okay. Well, so say you got your electricity bill, and it's probably up there around $160 to $200. Yep, you at that $10 an hour, you ain't making it. Cause time if you got a car payment and it's say $200, and you got a child, that one child just bumped your living expenses probably, I'd say a good $300 a month plus. Now, and I know some of you sitting there, I wish that was true. And I'm sure that because our kids, we want to give them everything we can. And a lot of us, it tears us up that we can't. So you got insurance, you can add you another probably $120. And I'm just guessing and making it low, but believe it or not, I'm over $1,000. And if I'm making $400 a month, that's $1,600. So wait, we ain't even put rent in there or a house payment. So nowadays that's at least 500, and some places are 900. You broke. You actually in the hole. You praying. So you're probably looking for another job, or you're probably not surviving. Yeah, bad. You remember my first one? I went off on Dollar General. I'm going to do it again. And it's not just Dollar General. It's not just Dollar General. Your food corporations are getting away with murder in this country. It's not murder. It's theft. But Mike, what are they doing that they get away with it? Well, let's look at this. And when you walk in that store, I want you to pay attention. And you're right, brother-in-law. When he made that statement the other day, I was discussing about people with no money. He said, well, they sure ain't slowed down going out to eat. Amen to that. How do they do it? I don't know. They sure do it. I can tell you how a lot of people do it. Credit cards, debt, loans. And it cycles, and as it goes, people end up broke. They end up in sad situations. Excuse me. But Dollar General, I went in there the other day. My wife was with me. We wanted something sweet. Picked up a bag about this long. It's not a bag, just a pack of candy bars, Hershey's. But your Hershey's, your Reese's, whatever it was, because believe me, I went down through there and I looked. Used to, in that bag or pack, you got 6. And they was probably that long. As long as that, not true. You can walk in there and you buy your pack of candy bars about that long for $1. Now you walk in there, it's $1.25. Used to, you walk in there, you get 6 candy bars. Excuse me. 6 candy bars. Now you get 5. Or was it 4? It was 5 or 4. And they're that long. Now let's recap this conversation. So we go in. We're going to buy a candy bar. And it ain't been too long ago, a couple of years ago, you walk in there, you got your good old candy bar pack for $1. They may have been a little shorter than that. But that candy bar cost you $1 plus tax. You're going to pay tax. Now you go in there, these candy bars, I'm telling you, ain't that big. And it's either 4 or 5, not 6. And it's $1.25. So not only have they cut down the size and probably the thickness, and I'm sure it is the thickness, and they went up on the price. They ain't helped you out a bit. They can care less about you, and you ain't gonna get back eating on that candy unless you're gonna go broke. So they stole the candy bar from you. They stole a portion of the candy bar from you, and it went up on you on the price. I'm surprised I don't get shot talking like this. Well, if I go where good Lord meant for me to go. That's the way I look at it. But now we get back to our bills, so you ain't gonna go in there buying your kids no candy bar. And The thing is, you can't walk in that dollar store without spending $20, $30. And $20 a day, 7 days, it's $140, 140 times 4. That's $960. 900. Yeah. Let me make sure I'm right. $20 a day, 7 days. That's 140 times 4. No, I was wrong. $560. That's half your paycheck. If you're making $20 an hour, you don't spend half of it on candy bar. Could you imagine if you're smoking? Lord have mercy. Don't even get me started on cigarettes. That is freaking stupid. How can you afford a pack of cigarettes, which is bad for you? Last time I think somebody asked me to buy them a pack, and I will not buy a cigarette. $5 and some, $5 and some, times 3. That's Lord have mercy. $15. You smoke a pack a day or two, you broke. What a freaking ripoff. I'd rather smoke weed. I don't smoke nothing. At least I don't get something besides cancer. Nowadays, you probably get that in weed too, with all the stinking stuff I smell. So we will go in the grocery store. We ain't gonna be buying no candy bar. And if you're working on minimum wages, you ain't gonna be buying much of nothing. You probably gonna be getting you some chips and a drink and going home, and that's gonna be your supper. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad that I'd sit here and say that, but it's probably true. See, I'm blessed. And I may have lost my job now just because to do these shows, but I'm blessed. I make good money. But just because I make good money and people that I guess think I make good money can charge me outrageous prices for something, this is sad. So let's go on to buying something else. Say you're going to buy your groceries for the month or the 2 weeks or a week. And you go in there, you want hamburger meat and bacon and sausage, and you probably can't afford it. You're probably going to get a little bit of hamburger meat, the little pack, and you're going to get you some very few canned items because everything in cans costs you right at $1. I mean, it don't happen. Now, what really makes me mad is when you push your grocery cart up there, and here stands them people standing there with that EBT card that ain't worked a day in their life, and they got grocery carts full, and I'm talking about full. Or you see the illegal that's standing in line that's got them a grocery cart full. We just shake our heads in disbelief. And then we watch somebody's mother walk up there or somebody's daddy walk up there or somebody that's working and they got nothing and they pushing stuff back because they can't afford it. And these people are laughing at you. And why? Because of elected officials who allow it. The Obamas, the Clintons, and it's went on for years. These are sorry, you know what. I almost said a bad word. But it's true. Power companies, they can rip you off. And like to be able to audit a power company and see where their money comes from. I know taxes probably put some there. These disasters that happen, storms, and they run out there and work. And I take my hat off to the guys that's working. It's the people that sitting behind that desk that don't care about you and don't care about what it's costing you, and they look at who's doing what, and a commercial rate is higher than a family rate. I can tell you that now. Personal property or your home, it's a different rate. You're supposed to be making money over here. Well, if I'm making money and I'm working people, I'm trying to help people move forward in life. I can't afford your electricity bill. I can't afford to go down to the grocery store and buy me a candy bar. Well, you got to be making money. Well, guess what? I ain't making money. And there's a lot of other businesses really ain't making money. Where I go out there and work on that boat, I make a little bit of money to come home and try to keep this going. Am I complaining? Yes. I'm complaining because I'm getting ripped off. I'm complaining because I see you struggling, the working class people, those that going out there and trying to make it. And I'm going to say this, I got a friend whose health is declining and he's having trouble and he's in the same shoes as those out there that's struggling. Well, he probably should have just put him some more money back and managed better. And it's not for you to judge him for whatever is going on there. It's the fact that you too, even though you got money and you got your heads up in the cloud and you think you're better than everybody else, you got, and that's how y'all get rich. You don't care about other people. You don't care. But if you're working for the power company or you're working for these big corporations and you're cutting that candy bar out of the pack or you're cutting the size of it and you're going up on the prices, whose fault is it that you are still surviving? It's our fault for going in there buying that candy bar and not sticking together and saying, what's the problem? Because we're standing back. We're waiting on the government to do something who ain't doing nothing. And they're fighting wars out there that, you know, I'm going to say it. The wars Trump come in with is wars I would love to see in. And he's trying to cut deals. But I'll tell you one thing he ain't cutting is grocery bills, his electricity bills, his gas bills. Trying to stop some, not much. And I know it can be free. When I talk about oil and gas, I'm talking about what I do for a living. It can't be free. But how do you survive? How do you survive? How do you build a retirement? If you got 2 kids or 3 kids and you got a family, how do you survive? What do you do? Well, you can cut them candy bars for one thing, I can tell you that. Everybody's probably laughing. Why is he down so hard on candy bars? Because I remember it ain't been just a few months back, I went and bought that pack of candy bars and there was 6 in there. And they was a little bigger. And they was the same price or $1. And now you go buy that candy bar, there's one missing, smaller. Oh, Lord. So if they're doing it on your candy bar, oh, well, let's buy a pack of chips. What a freaking joke. You buy that big old bag, about this big. And I want to say you can buy them for $1, or 2 for $1. 2 for $1. Them little bitty packs. You buy your 2 of them little packs, 2 for $1. What a freaking joke. That bag's blowed out here. Looks like it's full and ain't nothing in there. Them little bags of candies. I think the other day there was 5 little pieces of cookies in there. For $1. Everything's $1. You ain't buying it no cheaper. See where I'm going? Do you understand what I'm saying? We don't stick together. Nobody's doing nothing. And they're steadily going up on their prices. They're steadily sticking it to us one way or the other, and they're getting away with it. I'd love to be on a national TV show right now. I'd probably piss some people off what I said about whites, blacks, and this is God's honest truth, though. And I don't mean nothing by it. It's just the truth. If you don't believe me, watch your TV. Watch your TV. They shoved that down your throat so bad. And I know a lot of you agree with it. You know, it's not for me to judge you and who you go with or what you do. I just remember how I was raised and how they looked at it. Right or wrong, TV shoves it down your throat. Watch your advertisement. TV shoves it down your throat. You know, they're not getting on there and saying, let's go grocery shopping today and let's go buy something and show you how much everything really costs. They're not doing that. They all want to preach electric vehicles that if one comes up in front of your house and blows up, it's probably going to burn your house down because it takes hours to get put out. True story. And just like the other day, I seen a young man, I don't remember who he was, on Facebook. He went and bought him one of them electric trucks, Elon Musk, and you talk about a ripoff. This young man was ready to, sound like he's ready to drive it through the dealership door. They didn't care. And the thing is, it wasn't just, oh God, don't. I was thinking about closing this out, and I'm going to have to because I got to go to work today and make something. And I'm going to get me a cord so I can show you on the screen here. We're going to do a live about You Never Know Woodwork. So I'm going to show you some of the things being built in my shop. And if you want it, we invite you. Now, everything can't be shipped. Now, that's another thing. But, you know, it's sad with the ripoffs that you're getting every day. And I asked the lady yesterday, I said, are you aware how much money you are being ripped off each and every day? Service fees. I got to check PayPal because every day there's $10, $15, $20, $40, something coming out from PayPal every freaking day. GoDaddy, same thing. You're a ripoff. Because AOL, you're a ripoff. Because these corporations bill you, and they'll continue to bill you over and over and over and over, years and on top of years. When you're not even using them and you done let them go, if you ain't went in there and just hit one little thing says cancel, they're going to keep charging because they can. Because they can get away with it. Because there's nobody monitoring them ripping you off. But just like I said, Lord, don't even get me started on that one. I'm not even going to do it. What do we do? I'd love to hear some of y'all's opinions. You're probably going to tell me shut the hell up because you've done talk 44 minutes, 32 seconds. I love to talk. That's why I do this. And if you don't want to listen to me, turn me off. I mean, I'm not your news media. I'm not dressed up in a really pretty dress and flaunt myself at you. And Lord, if I put a dress on, somebody better come and get me because I ain't riding my head. Oh, Mike, you didn't say that. Yeah, I did. I'm a country boy. Woman, better be a woman. I know that's all I got to say. I don't play that. Now, what you want to do with your life and how you want to live it, that's your business. Take it somewhere else. Don't try to bring it and shove it down my throat or my family or my kids and try to make them think that it's okay. That's a whole nother show. And I don't agree with it. But just think about it as you're going through your day. You're paying your bills. Oh, you go in the old dollar store, you go in the old Walmart, you're going to buy groceries, you're going to pay a bill. Down the road, you got to buy gas, and you're going to stop by and get you that candy bar that you realize really throwing your money away, and they done ripped you off. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Just think about me talking about a $700 electricity bill, and it's been shut down, compared to a $64 electricity bill that this Latino has a Mexican restaurant, and his manager stands there and tells me his bill was $64 for the month, and I can tell you he's probably made, I can guarantee you he makes more than probably $500 a day, and that's a lot of money for the month. And on the weekends, he probably makes a whole lot more than that. $64 for an electricity bill. Well, I'm not making nothing. It cost me $700. I paid his electricity bill several times over. And that's why he's stronger and buying property up and building stuff. And illegals are working there, I guarantee you. And ICE ain't raided it yet, which they should. And because it's not fair to the American working class people. It's not fair to my family and friends who are out there busting their humps trying to make it, and they steadily taken away. Well, just think about what I said. And I'm going to say a prayer today, and then I'm going to get my butt up and get dressed and go to work. And I do appreciate you. I hope I got you thinking. I probably pissed some people off. That's okay. That's why I do it. Make people think. And then, I mean, I probably don't have to make you think. You're already sitting there doing it, wondering why. So I guess I won't be going to Buc-ee's and buying no candy bar. Lord have mercy. Why you go there? But I'm going to bow my head and say a quick prayer. Lord, just be with those out there traveling today, going to work, and hope and pray they turn home safely. Be with those who are sick and those who are in need, those who are lost, that we bring them closer to you. Lord, we know you're number one, only one. We have to put our trust and faith in you. And I know I fall short of this each and every day. But Lord, I trust in you to guide me and show me the way. In God's name I pray. Amen. Thank you again for being there. And I will go get this cord straightened out and show you some things we're building. And we're going to talk about some fun things, cars, building, items that we build at the shop. Maybe my wife will let me show you some of the stuff that she's done. Very talented, beautiful work. But I thank you, and I hope you'll come back and join me. And I will let you know when my next show will be. But today I got to go to work, and I've got very little time to get there. So y'all have a wonderful and safe day, and God bless you. Thank you.